Yeah, and again, we talked about this earlier in the show. That's more of the problem that they have with these stimulus inducing, offers or announcements. Is this will stimulate the marketplace for a little bit, right? And you'll see maybe a little mini bump. And then after that, if they can't follow it up with a better process, with better moments, better highlights in the moments themselves, or better series sets, like the Run It Back series.
Yeah.
If that can't be better, like if everyone runs up their collector score to get into the Run It Back series drop, and then they release a bunch of moments, and it looks like they're going to do that, they're going to release moments from 2006 to 2010.
Yeah.
Of players that are way past their prime. Who wants an Allen Iverson moment from his Denver Nugget days or from the end of his time in Philly?
I mean, Denver Nugget, Allen Iverson, I wouldn't be the biggest, like I wouldn't be super against it. But if you had a choice, like obviously you should be choosing the 76ers prime Iverson. Yeah.
Right. We're going to do Shaq and AI. I mean, those are kind of the two big, and Tracy McGrady, right?
Yeah.
Those
if Shaq is not in a Laker jersey, I don't want it.
Why? Yeah. Or if Allen Iverson's not in a Sixers jersey, or like if you could have Tracy McGrady with any team, because he played for the Raptors, he played for the Magic, he played for the Rockets, and I think he played for a couple other teams or something.
Yeah, I think so too.
But like, which one would you take him from? Like, which moment, like, would you, if you could only have one Tracy McGrady moment and it's a Run It Back insert series, which team do you want to see him playing for in this moment?
Yeah, either Raptors or Magic. Yeah.
Or maybe the game where he had like 13 in a minute at the end.
Yeah.
Like something like that would be cool. Like that would be an acceptable. That'd be like the only Rockets moment that I could accept. Right. Yeah. Other than that, I would probably want to see him. I would take like a Raptors moment from his first couple of years, like him and Vince in the same highlight or something. Or maybe some from the Magic, right?
Yeah, his Magic moments weren't bad either. But
but they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. They're going to release moments from 06 to 010. So they're going to. I just think that people are going to be very underwhelmed by the Run It Back, and they're going to have spent a lot of money to get eligible for it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I was talking to someone on the Discord about that, and I was like, "Hey, like, let's go through the what's out right now for Run It Back real quick, because maybe you're not remembering." And we're like, "Oh, Paul Pierce on the Nets. Wow, I really want that. Kevin Garnett on the Nets. Oh, I really don't want that either." Like,
people from Brooklyn would rather have them in the Celtics
uniform. Yeah, especially Paul Pierce. Like maybe Kevin Garnett in Timberwolves would obviously.
Yeah, that'd be great too. Yeah,
not as a Net.
He won a championship in Boston. Like his best years, by his career were in Boston. I mean, he had the MVPs and stuff. But I just think they are. I don't know why the NBA wouldn't give them the film from the early 2000s. It completely blows my mind because if you were able to release a Shaq moment from when he played with Kobe, or
how about that alley oop from Kobe to Shaq against the 76? Like, come on.
It would break the system. You would have an influx of users. We would be back to like the early days when they push back the drops because they can't handle the site traffic. Or Allen Iverson's step over fadeaway in the finals over Tyronn Lue. How would that not be the most valuable moment on the site?
Yeah.
Like why? Yeah. And it would generate such interest.
You know how many do-rags I would buy if that moment came out?
You know how many do-rags I would pull out from my closet that I already bought? So, and that's what I'm saying. They have a great opportunity to become more selective about the highlights and the moments with this Run It Back series, and they're going to blow it. And people are going to spend a lot of money to get eligible for the collector's score.
And they're going to feel super burnt. Yeah,
they're going to FOMO into it, and they're going to feel.
I really wish we knew the reasoning behind that. Is it because they're not allowed to access those highlights? Is it because they're waiting till they're out of beta to really do the juicy ones? Like what's the logic behind that? Because so I pulled up the current Run It Backs from Series 1 and I'm looking and it's like Steve Nash on the Lakers. Oh, like, do I really want that? No. There's Carmelo Anthony on the Knicks. That's not the worst.
It's from 13-14, right? That's when they pulled it from, the
I think so. Yeah, that
2013-2014
sounds right.
season.
It's something like that. But on top of that, it's like Andrew Bogut. Why is he there? Jimmy Butler on the Bulls. Jimmy Butler on the Bulls. How he was barely on the Bulls. Like, why? Like, Chris Paul on the Clippers, it's not the worst. Paul Pierce on the Nets, like I said, that's a disgrace.
And that's what I think.
And the players they chose too. The players they chose too. Like, as I scroll down, it's like Michael Carter Williams, Barbosa, like Sean Marion, like, and Udonis Haslem. I mean, no disrespect to them, but Kelly Olynyk, I don't like, who's spending right now that this Kelly Olynyk running back is going for 600. Who in their right mind is spending 100 on a Kelly Olynyk moment besides Kelly Olynyk?
I don't know that he spends that money on himself.
If he was a smart man, he would not.
And that's what I think we as content creators, we have to start pining and needling Top Shot. Please. The one suggestion that I think everyone can agree on, become more selective about the highlights that you include in the moments.
Yeah.
People have all different types of suggestions, and you have one camp that thinks, oh, you got to do it this way, and another camp that says, no, you got to do it this way. The one suggestion that we all can agree on is get better moments, get better highlights in the moments. If you're going to do run it back series, have the player with their most iconic team.
Yeah. Doesn't even have to be their best moment, just their best team. Like,
yeah. What we as fans remember them. Like, when you call up Allen Iverson, I think of him in the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah. I know that he played for another couple teams at the end of his career. I think it was the Nuggets. I think there was maybe one other involved.
I will say, in defense of the whole Nuggets thing, like, at least for me, I really remember Allen Iverson as a Nugget because he was going up against Kobe. He was with Carmelo and going up against Kobe in the Western Conference Finals, and that was a pretty big deal. And he was still like putting up numbers then. But yeah, like 76ers, like Iverson, that's what you think of. Like, nobody thinks, even Nuggets fans do not think of Allen Iverson as a Nugget.
Yeah, Jordan was a Wizard too. But they have a Jordan moment, and it's from the Wizards. Like,
I've never seen someone paint a mural of Jordan in his Wizard jersey.
Right. Or so if you have Shaq with, I don't know, the Suns or the Celtics, whoever he was with in 2010, or I don't even know if he was with the Heat that late. But
no, I don't know. He wasn't.
Yeah, and so, but even with
that's gonna be bad.
Even with the new moments they release, become more selective. Nobody cares about Campazzo throwing an assist over his shoulder to Jokic in the first round of the playoffs in a series. They got to do better. They have to do better. And it's something that I don't think enough people are talking about.
No, I agree. And I think part of it, there's two thoughts I have about this. One, it's obviously a learning curve, but I think two is like, it would be interesting to know, like, these people that are picking the moments. Are they more basketball background or more tech background? Because if they're tech, like, maybe that's why we're seeing so many insignificant moments getting picked, because they're like, hey, this looks cool, which to their credit, most of the moments like look pretty cool, and they do a great job picking the right angles. And even lately with Series 2, how they'll have the slow-mo, or they'll show an extended part, like with the Trae Young, they show him shushing the crowd, and they show multiple angles, and he starts that at half court instead of them showing part way. Like, those are all really good advancements, but at the same time like, you need to pick like the right moments, and like you need to capture it's a moment. You need to capture that entire moment. Like, what if, like, did the crowd lose their mind when that happened? If they did, like, maybe that's a good moment. Like, there's a lot of emotion involved in sports too. And like, you need to capture that. Like, people in the Discord were going nuts about that Trae Young reward. Nuts. They were acting like this man was the second coming of Jesus. And the reason why was because the emotion of him going into the garden and becoming a villain. Like,
exactly.
You had people like me who were a little less emotional about it, saying, hey, like, I don't know, like, I'm not super big on this moment. I Don't know if I'd consider Trae Young a superstar, blah, 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 blah. But people were so into it and bought into that moment and like him and the emotion and everything surrounding it. And I think that's what you have to look for sure, for sure. You can't just say, oh, that's a cool dunk out of context, because these are not in a vacuum. Like when people run it back is a great example. People are going to value these moments because of nostalgia. So seeing Shaquille O'Neal in a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey, that does not bring anyone any type of nostalgia. No one's going to be like, oh, yes, like this was, I remember where I was when this happened.
Right.
I don't remember where I was when Steve Nash was on the Lakers. I remember when we signed him and I got excited, but I don't remember where I was because he didn't do anything.
Yeah, and I think you can immediately introduce valuable moments into the marketplace if you become more selective about the quality of the highlight and the context of the highlight. You know, who are they playing for? Is it during their MVP year? Is it during an iconic season that, you know, all of our nostalgia appeals to?
Is it against a rival?
Right. And so all those things, because they're introducing moments into the marketplace that have no value.
Yeah.
No value at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only reason that people are even trading money for them right now is because it's a new market. But eventually they will reset to zero. And by just diluting these superstar run it back players, by diluting their moments, by having them a part of like, you know, their end of career teams when they're just making a money grab for a last contract in the NBA, they're missing a huge opportunity. And you know, everyone's waiting for them to do something to return value back into the marketplace. This is a quick, immediate fix that they could institute by next week. It doesn't. It's not difficult to identify these moments and highlights.
Yeah,
it's not.
Well, especially historical ones too, because all you have to do is look up highlight reel of a certain player, and those are the ones that lasted the test of time. No, like as a huge Top Shot fan and a huge NBA fan, it legitimately breaks my heart that Steve Nash's Top Shot debut is in a Laker jersey, that Kevin Garnett's Top Shot debut is in a Nets jersey, that Paul Pierce, a man that I grew up hating because I was a diehard Kobe fan, it breaks my heart that his Top Shot debut is not in a Celtics jersey. Like
100%.
That's like he was an icon in that jersey. And I think the fact that Ray Allen it's a Miami one. It's like put him in a Celtics jersey, put him in a Bucks jersey, right? Yeah, Bucks. Sorry, I forgot. But
they went to an Eastern Conference Finals. People remember that. They did.
Yeah. Like Tim Duncan, they have him in a Spurs jersey, but that's because he was a Spur the whole time. Dirk Nowitzki, they had him like it's almost like they were forced to like put a couple of these players in like the jersey they should be. Like Kyle Lowry is a Raptor on the run it back, but there's not a player, at least from what I've seen, and I've gone through it a couple times with like people and just kind of looking at it because it is a cool set and there are some cool moments there, but there's not that many players that played for multiple teams where their Top Shot debut is the right moment. Yeah. And it doesn't have to, I'm not even saying the best highlight of their career. I'm just saying them on their team in their prime when everyone remembers them and feared them whenever they touched the court.
Yeah.
I think this all comes back to some people say it's a cop-out, but I mean, we are in beta. Thank God.
Just beta. It doesn't really count.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, they are putting a serious effort into this. They are hiring new people, and they're hiring very talented people, kind of like you said before. And that's exciting. And I just hope that we continue to see an improvement of the product. And that's, as a user, that's all we can ask for. We can't ask for them to fix everything at once. We can't ask for all this new stuff like this. Like, all we can ask for is just to see improvements and to see that they're listening or that they're taking the indirect feedback that comes from the marketplace or different reactions and using their like own knowledge to make like informed decisions, not reacting to people like whining about things or like going overboard, but just listening to people and working on constantly improving, because that's all you can do. And that's all we can ask for. And if we ask for anything else, it'd be pretty unreasonable. And I think they've done a good job at that so far.
And that's what I'm going to start telling girls on the first date is like, hey, listen, we're still in beta, sweetheart. So don't get too upset with me. I'm going to just start using that a little bit more around my life. You know, first day on the job, hey, I'm just in beta.
I'm just in beta. I'm working on it. I'm gonna take your feedback. I'm gonna improve, but you can't ask me to get a 6-pack in one day. Like, it's a process.
Exactly.
And maybe we'll get there. Maybe this project will crash and burn, but we got to keep going to see. And yeah.